Insane.
We need to get more CUDA cores on that process.
CUDA cores. Tessellation.
We need some CUDA coils.
And a faster processor.
All right. You see it?
Yeah, I see it. All right, let's do this. Quiet on the set, please. What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 107. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Happy Halloween. Ooh.
Carlos Romero.
How's it going, everyone?
And Brett Murdoch. I think Brett is missing.
What's up, party people?
There he
is.
Here.
I'm here.
Maybe you were stolen by ghosts.
You stolen by ghosts. We should do this whole podcast in Dracula accent.
Yes, with this answer fan questions like Dracula. It will be Halloween in like an hour or two, so okay. So no Chris action tonight because he is sick.
Apparently he got, along with the things I sent him, he apparently got sickness for his birthday as well.
Yo, man, you sent him some Osaka sickness, man. You sent him some Japanese shit, man.
Oh, man.
And that's also the reason I believe forgot to bring this up last episode. That's the reason Adam couldn't join us either. He's fucking sick too. As a matter of fact, actually, both of his kids are sick, which means he's sick too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But he's still playing Titanfall.
That sort of thing. Yeah, he's been sending us texts like crazy. Oh my God, my life has changed. Like,
here's the thing about Adam, and Manny can explain it better than me. Like, this dude gets really hyped up about the shit he plays, man.
Here's the thing to know about Adam. Like, he's my cousin and everything, but like, when he gets excited about something, he can sell you on it and sell every single person around the block, even if the game is not even that great. Like if he likes it that much, like, oh man, you could go in and then you could go do this and you could do that and then you put this in there. I'm like, oh wow, that sounds amazing. And I play it. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So he gets incredibly excited about things, and at least for me, I'm kind of like the opposite. Like he gets really excited about things. I'm like, yeah, all right, sure, maybe you should.
Hey, look at this. It looks like YouTube's being stupid again.
What are they doing?
Jesus. I better we didn't say anything overtly racist before the show started, right?
I don't know.
Damn it, I forgot to, you know. I'll try harder next time.
So how much of it did we get?
I mean, the show apparently hasn't even started yet.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Dumb. All right, so whatever. Let's just keep it going, and we'll worry about that later, I guess. You know? Actually, you know what I'm going to do right now, because I really don't fucking trust this shit? I'm going to start OBS real quick. You never know, right? Yeah. Fucking stupid. I hate fucking you. I don't know what the hell's been going on lately, man.
I call it a Google problem.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so there's that. Oh yeah, shout out to Mr. Megative, who was on the show last time. You know, fun dude. He couldn't stay on because he needed to play Titanfall with his buddies and stuff. You know, so
man, you can't be making plans on Throwdown night. No, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to be fair though, he asked me last minute, so he wasn't obligated to be on the whole show. You know.
Cool. Listen, I give anybody, if anybody has to dip out because they want to play some games, I've said cool, because you know what, there's not a lot of time to play games these days.
Yeah, you haven't really played much at all, have you?
I think the last thing I played was Beyond. Bound.
I was about to say Beyond shit on PS3.
No, I played Beyond. No, Bound. That was the one I finished pretty recently.
Okay.
And a lot of those indie games are only about maybe 3 hours long. So you give about 3 hours, maybe double it, and it's about how long you play.
Oh man.
I'm actually kind of glad because of all the different delays that have happened. Like with The Last Guardian and Gravity Rush. I'm like, all right, so that gives me more time to clear out of whatever work I need to do, so I can play these games. I still haven't finished Republic on PlayStation 4. It's fucking stupid. I'm on like the 5th chapter and I still haven't gone through it yet.
Damn, man, crazy. All right, so let's get into it. We got a couple questions here, which means a lot of questions. All right, final stage boss. All right, do you miss the G4 channel?
I miss Tech TV. Fuck G4. Shit.
A lot of people actually said that. It's like they miss Tech TV, you know?
Nah, G4 was like if you decided to inject MTV into friggin' into Tech TV. Like, I mean, still like, you know, extended play or X play as you want to call it later on. That was still awesome. I mean, and that was the one. That was when he was still when Adam Sessler was in Metreon every day.
Yeah.
There was
I
a lot.
I liked G4 before it got MTVified, because remember, G4 was its own separate channel, right? Along with Tech TV, and they had a bunch of gaming things on there, like gaming documentaries, histories of all this really cool shit. And then when they got merged with Tech TV, they got rid of half of it, or most of it. You know, they got rid of all of it by the end. You know?
Yeah, like they got like. I mean, the thing is that they kind of had to cut the fat, because like you had like you had like friggin' Electric Playground, and then you had extended play, then you had the whatever that show that Keeley used to draw.
That's right.
Post.
Yeah, they had all this shit that they cut out, you know. So, but the thing is, you know, I don't really miss it. Like, I enjoyed myself with it when it was around, but I don't miss it anymore. And to be frank, we don't really need an X Play or anything like that anymore. We have YouTube now and all this other shit, you know.
Yeah, the Throwdown.
Yeah,
and you have Throwdown. You have Throwdown.
Fuck those other show, man. Yeah, nowadays, I mean, like, granted, it was nice to have something gaming related to tune into. I mean, video game shows are kind of few and far between, especially from like in the 90s when we used to, like, you know, there was like maybe 1 or 2 game shows on TV.
Yeah,
and they never lasted long.
Yeah, so it was nice, but now you have gaming content everywhere because of the internet, so not really needed. All right, so what do you guys say about G4?
I don't really miss it either. I hardly even watched it. So same as you guys, we don't really, if it's not needed, then why miss it?
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing I miss is seeing a lot of the hosts regularly. Some of them were pretty cool.
I like Kevin Pereira.
Yeah, Pereira.
I miss G4, but at the same time, like, I also miss Tech TV. Like, I kind of jumped on board like towards the tail end of Tech TV, and then rode it through as into G4. And G4 was okay for a while. I think I remember something about like them like being bought out by somebody or managed differently or something like that. And
yeah,
that's when everything just, there was a certain point about 2.5 years into Attack of the Show, or 2 years into Attack of the Show, where everything just went weird.
Yeah,
and it went downhill ever since then.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm pretty sure that's why Pereira left.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why he left.
And part of the reason they kicked Adam Sessler off, because remember, he didn't leave; he got kicked off for whatever reason. But yeah, I know. Yeah, G4 used to be cool back when it seemed like they were more roguish, just doing whatever the fuck they wanted. But at one point, it just seemed very controlled, and yeah, I didn't like it. No good, man. No good. So yeah, don't really miss him.
Well, now you can watch it still as the Esquire channel, even if that still exists.
Yeah, didn't they become like the men's channel? Or
yeah, they became the Esquire channel.
Ridiculous. Esquire, that sounds like a horse.
Esquire is a magazine.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Esquitarians, which are horses.
Esquire magazine, you know.
Yeah. Magazine that's probably dead anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why they have it. They decided to turn it into a channel.
Yeah, ridiculous. All right. Next question here. Do you ever see the Netflix Marvel characters appearing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Here's the thing, and this is I would love to see them, but I feel like they're doing the same sort of thing that they're pulling with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it's like the things that happen in the movie affect things that happen in their TV show world. But there is no reverse side. You won't see Daredevil or Punisher or any of those guys show up in the big battle movie, the Infinity War movie.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I would see them like more showing up in maybe smaller movies, like an Ant-Man or something like that. But if, like, for example, the Avengers movies, they have so many characters, and it's kind of like overkill having the Defenders there too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's overkill. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like they just live in their own little separate world, you know? Kind of things I would love to see, like Luke Cage and Daredevil showing up
I
in
want to
these
see
movies.
fucking Spider-Man swing through at some point, but that shit ain't happening.
Yeah, he's not gonna be showing up in those shows.
Spider-Man's like, man, I don't go to Harlem. I don't go to Hell's Kitchen.
That's hilarious. It would be, again, it would be nice, but I don't see it happen.
So you wouldn't think it would be overkill in
No.
for example, Infinity Wars?
No, I mean, have them just kind of
characters, that's fine.
Yeah,
Go nuts.
I mean, here's the thing: if you've ever read the original Infinity Gauntlet, there are mainstay characters that they always go through, right? That they're constantly, the main guys always stay in the forefront. But that doesn't mean in a splash page you don't see 100 other characters that didn't even get introduced.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about it from a comic standpoint. Like, even if they introduce every single character they possibly have into one of these movies, it would still be like 20% of what they had in the comics, when you had like hundreds of characters in one shot,
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be a overkill at all,
I just see the thing is, I think once you start getting into the minutia of like, hey, I'm D-Man, and you remember me? I got this suit that has a D on it, and I'm like, no, we don't know you. Who cares? Just punch some shit in the background.
D-Man is that rip-off Wolverine-looking guy, right?
Yeah, D-Man is he's that one that dude who has a giant D in his chest.
Yeah, because he has okay. D-Man was like a guy who just loved superheroes, so he had like a Wolverine mask. He had Daredevil's D, the original D, and some other heroes like parts on him too. Hilarious. All right. Any other thoughts on this? I'm gonna take that as a no. So we'll move on here. Okay, Young Bastard. Okay. How has your video game buying habits changed this generation?
Oh,
I have my answer, but go ahead, Carlos. What do you say?
It's much exponentially less gaming time this generation than when I had last gen. So when last gen started, I was in high school, so I had all the time in the world to freaking play video games. So I played almost like everything I could get. But this gen, it's just like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. And then I have more hobbies now that I'm older. So I do other stuff. And I still have my time for video games, but it's just way more limited than what it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of agree with that. I don't play as much as I used to. Like, last gen, like, I got platinums all day, every day, right? This gen, I don't really have time for that. But that's not my answer. My answer is, I buy shit digital now. That's my biggest change for habits. I didn't buy anything digital, but when I figured out, wait, this doesn't mean anything because I still have to install the whole game in there. Why am I bothering with the middleman? Then I started downloading everything digital. So that's the biggest change I've had. And I guess, like you said, when it comes to time, I don't play games like 3 or 4 times to get the platinum anymore because I have to move on to the next game, right? Which is both good and bad. I get more time to play more games, but I don't have time to actually complete games like I would want to. But I'm still playing the same, So yeah, my biggest change is digital.
Yeah, and for me, for example, I just finished Gears of War, the campaign, and I'm like, oh, I have to move on to Battlefield 1. I'm not going to play Horde mode or multiplayer for Gears because I want to finish the Battlefield 1 campaign because I want to get into the Titanfall campaign.
Yeah, see?
So it's like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to do all of it and then play multiplayer for these games. It's impossible.
Oh, man.
For me, it hasn't actually changed. I mean, like my buying habits, I'm very, very frugal about what games I buy. So the amount of games that I have, I usually play them for, playing for a while. The only difference is the actual amount of time that I have nowadays. I mean, I'm a lot busier than I was even just the last year. So, but my gaming habits in general have always are always the same. I call it playing for keeps. For most games, I only play it once, and I play it and I get everything that I wanted to get inside of the game.
All right, Brett, any changes with your gaming habits this gen?
I've bought less games and played the games that I've bought longer, which is, why I'm really happy for Dark Souls right now. Like it's weird. Like I've had a few games, Dark Souls, GTA, Fallout for a while, games that you're just like, man, I'm just gonna cling to because there's not a whole lot coming out. Like I used to remember, back when I was working a lot, tattooing, like working 60 hours a week, I was making really good money, $200-300 a night. So every weekend I could go out and buy a new video game. Didn't necessarily mean that I had time to play it, but man, I could collect the motherfuckers. And when I had my day off, I could just sit around and game all day. And I don't have that option now. Like now it's just every couple months, maybe every few months, maybe twice, 3 times a year, I get really excited about a game, or I really want to run out and buy a game. But otherwise, it's just you're looking for things to fill the holes. And that's depressing because to the people selling the video games, like, even if you buy a game just because there's nothing really else to play, they're still selling a game. And so we've kind of entered this weird place of like mediocre games are being sold because we don't have the kind of good games that we used to. Like I wish there was more competition in the market, but there just fucking isn't anymore.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure for you, Brett, there's no competition for Dark Souls DLC. That's the only thing in mind when the only thing you probably want to play, right? Because there's nothing else coming out.
Yeah. Well, even just now, like I was talking to a buddy of mine before I came back here, and he and my other buddy went to the bar. They're like, we should all just commit to spending $60 and getting a game and playing it together. They're like, so what do you want to get? We're like, I don't know, Titanfall maybe, and I was like, there's no way I'm jumping on that Titanfall bandwagon until I hear some good feedback, since the last one just petered out so bad. And they're like, I don't know what else there is, like Madden, Destiny. Like, Jesus Christ, the options are pretty fucking terrible.
Yep.
I feel like with multiplayer experiences, they're all pretty much the same bag of dicks,
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Let's move on here. By the way, Young Bastard did have another question, but it was for Chris specifically. Chris not here. We'll save that for another time.
Wait, well, I want to know what the question. I'm just curious now.
Well, the question was, what is it going to take for you to buy the Nintendo Switch?
I think he kind of answered that question.
I'd rather Chris answer it.
Yeah, I'd rather have him answer.
Oh yeah, dude, we'll answer a question when Chris comes back.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next, Seth. We've had variations of this question before, but we'll go for it again for fun. Why don't Xbox gamers support new IPs? Do we have our stock answers ready?
Kind of. Trying to think of something different.
We're gonna say.
We should do like the second run of Spider-Man films where we don't say where great power comes with great responsibility. We just kind of tap dance around the same topic.
Yeah. Like Amazing Spider-Man.
Go ahead. Carlos, like what?
Oh no, like the Amazing Spider-Man. The dude, he said the same thing. It's just worded differently.
He just said it longer. That's how I differentiate myself from the first Spider-Man films.
All right. Well, let's see. Xbox gamers prefer games where you pick up a device where you squeeze on a trigger, projectiles come out of them. They don't like games where you have to do other things that don't have you picking up this weapon and shooting projectiles, unless it's a car game.
That might be a bit reductive. There's several good examples of creative games that have been made, but yeah, I guess not many that have
sell though.
No, they
really
don't
sold that well.
Remember, Brett. The question isn't why aren't these games made for Xbox? It's why are new IPs embraced by the Xbox community? We're talking. You know what? I'm skipping right to it. Nobody bought fucking Sunset Overdrive. Nobody bought Record. Nobody bought Quantum Break. Nobody bought Ori and the Blind Forest. Why is that? I have my answer. I think it's just because Xbox has. If it doesn't have shooting, I'm skipping right to it. If it isn't Forza, Halo, or fucking Gears of War, these guys aren't buying it. And Forza is the only outlier there because it's a car racing game. Other than that, Xbox guys don't give a shit, and they've proved it time and time again.
And I definitely think that a lot of the Xbox gamers are kind of into that kind of balls to the wall sort of stuff where it's like.
I'm going to quote Adam. Remember what Adam told us at the beginning of 360 era? He goes, the Xbox 360 is for hardcore gamers. He didn't mean gamers that play a ton of games. He meant guys that like balls action games. That's the sentiment with the Xbox has, and they prove it all the time. Not there's anything wrong with that, but that's the kind of games these guys like. Let's just be honest. What was the biggest game on Xbox? It wasn't exclusive, but what was the biggest game last time? Fucking Call of Duty. They love shit like that. You know?
Okay, so while I agree with that, I would say that PlayStation users are kind of the same on the other side. So how does this reflect like new IP? I don't know if it's that Xbox gamers don't support new IPs. It's just that gamers in general don't really seem to support new IPs that readily. And I don't even know if it's
Sony
gamers.
new IPs seem to do better than Xbox new IPs, though. Like Sony comes out with a new IP.
Yeah, but that's because Sony supports those IPs better. I don't know, and they're better products.
Hold on, Brett. I think you may have hit on something. Do you think it's because Xbox themselves don't promote these new IPs better? You think that's what it is?
Absolutely. Like if you look at Xbox's marketing, it's all Halo, Forza, Halo, Forza, Halo, Forza. I mean, it's Sony really tries to be like, oh, we're bringing you this new experience, and sometimes it works and sometimes it fails. I mean, look at like what was it, Knack, one of the games that the PlayStation launched with. I mean, that was a miserable failure, but they was trying something new.
Yeah, and my God,
and they marketed the fuck out of that.
Knack actually sold millions and millions, which is ridiculous.
Well, it was a launch title; they had to get a game.
Yeah, that's true. Jeez, man. But Sony guys are more ready. You know, it just seems to me like they're more willing to try out a new IP than fucking Xbox guys. You know, but maybe the thing is like, Quantum Break was pretty heavily advertised, though, man. Let's just be honest.
It had its own freaking TV show, man.
Yeah, you know. It wasn't on TV. It wasn't on TV, but it was still a TV show, you know.
It sold like 500,000.
Man, and the Steam version's not selling any better either. You know,
it's not. But
also, the Steam version's out.
Yeah, it can't. This is no one's like Brett said. No one's promoting this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play that shit. Fuck.
It's on Steam and it's like $40. It's cheap, you know.
I got a Steam.
You got
I got a Steam, and I got a Steam, and I got a pretty powerful graphics card at this point in time.
Graphics, oh god!
I have a question.
I just have to turn off that annoying ambient occlusion shit.
Yo, ambient occlusion is good, man.
I know it's good, but that is a memory hog. Anyway, let's go with
not on my shit.
Can you guys tell me like a PlayStation 4 new IP game? Like a
from
big
recently?
One?
Recently, Until Dawn, I did really well. That's a new IP.
Until Dawn.
Yeah.
What's another one? We got another.
Yeah, but PlayStation 4, obviously, you know, PlayStation 3 had a bunch of new IPs like Last of Us, fucking Beyond, you know. But the thing is, here's the thing: since I'm not a big Japanese gamer type guy, I'm missing out on a bunch of new IPs that are Japanese that people are eating up, you know. Because everybody's always yelling about it. Tony, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about like I don't follow those games, bro.
So Until Dawn sold 1.6 million,
which is more than Quantum Break, you know.
Yeah, which is good, but that's I don't know.
Didn't Drive Club end up selling 3 million or something?
Oh
you know?
Shit!
Drive Club was another big one, you know.
I feel like both of them aren't selling. I guess maybe Xbox more so than PlayStation because obviously the install base is like double.
Yeah.
So
there's more PlayStations out there.
So I feel like both of them are kind of performing low comparatively, you know?
Yeah. Even though both systems are selling better than the last gen versions.
See there, and therein lies a little bit of the problem. Because you remember, in general, software sales is what really makes the most money.
Yeah.
You know, there's something a little bit off if the console sales are still high, and the software sales aren't going up. So it seems like the tide has shifted a bit.
Yeah, it's weird. Everybody just wants to buy the systems now.
It's like, what is everybody buying? Hey guys, buy some games. Well, why are you constantly buying consoles for?
Oh man! All right, let's move on here. We're gonna get another version of that same question again. All right, Hell Metal. All right, I know we have a few artists of varying professions on the show. Now I know you guys are not rich and this shit's expensive. But what do you guys think about the Surface Studio and the tech it brings to the creative industry?
The Surface Studio, you know what I think about it? It's the same thing.
As what?
As a Cintiq. It's just a Microsoft Cintiq. with that weird little dial on there. I mean, I think the thing is cool, but it just looks, it's a lot more flash than substance, to be honest.
Uh-oh. That's because you hate Microsoft, Manny.
No way, man.
That dial is gonna fuck with your creative flow.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna knock it off. It's not gonna be an intuitive part of the process. It looks cool, but the Cintiq has like dials built into the side of the frame where you kind of grip it,
Yes.
and where your thumb naturally sits. Like it's designed very ergonomically. Like, this is flashy, but it's not ergonomic. It doesn't appear.
And it'll be great. It's like, hey, look, I lost my not only lost my Cintiq pen, but I also lost my stupid dial too. Come on,
shit.
You know.
Also, like, I'd be interested to know about pressure sensitivity and also digitizers. Digitizers are a huge issue. N-Trig tried forever to make a digitizer, and it sucks.
Hey, you want to know why most digitizers stink compared to the Wacom ones? It's so simple. Because Wacom owns the rights to it. So anybody who has to have a, like, the Samsung Slate, that is one that actually uses a Wacom in it. So do a lot of the Samsung pen devices, the Notes. Those use Wacom digitizers inside of them too.
And you want to know a secret? Wacom doesn't give its latest technology to other companies.
No.
They give a slimmed down, like, cut back version to other companies so that they retain the best, like,
exactly
in the environment.
Exactly. So the Samsung Slate, or whatever version of whatever version it's out there, has essentially like something close to a Graphire tablet inside of it, as opposed to the Intuos units that they use, or the higher end ones that they use for Cintiqs and their actual pen tablets.
Same with the Surface Pro, the one that you can draw on. Like, they basically lease, and I remember reading this in an article, they basically got the digitizer from Wacom, but Wacom was like, yeah, that's not like our key digitizer. That was an augmented digitizer that we made and sold to them. So you're not going, and they said, they right out said, so you're not going to get the complete performance of a true Wacom experience from this tablet.
Yeah, so they want you to buy the Wacom, or whatever they call it. What is it called? What's the new Wacom unit? The essentially the laptop.
Oh, the companion.
The companion. They want you to get that thing because that thing has the sensitivity and all the other stuff that the other things that they license out don't have.
Oh, I want one of those so bad.
All right, move on here. I wish Chris was here. He probably would have had something to say too. All right, Ronin. This is a pretty fun question. Okay, aesthetically, what do you personally think makes a fictional creature / monster truly terrifying? Multiple eyes, limbs, insect-like bodies, other characteristics, anything from Berserk? Manny, what makes something terrifying?
The unknown, not knowing what it is. That's why friggin' From Software, it wins when it comes to creature design, because you're like, what the fuck is that? Oh my, what the hell? Did it just turn into something? It's like that. I feel like a lot of Japanese design follows that sort of design aesthetic, where it's like, holy shit, what the is that? A giant baby with an upside down head?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's part of it, and I guess my answer kind of goes with that too. Anything that's not like symmetrical in nature, you know what I mean? Like, if it's just like, why do you have limbs coming out of this side, but like other shit coming out of here? Like, but you're right. It's like, if you don't know what it is, but I will say, if it has any sort of like mammalian characteristics, I tend not to be as scared of it as I would be something reptilian or insect-like, like, or something like that. You don't even know, like, what the fuck kind of thing is, like a mollusk or something that creeps me out too. Like, the more alien from me, Brett, you'll get your turn. Don't worry. I know. The more alien from me it is, the more crazy. But yeah, definitely not no symmetry, no kind of uniform kind of body. That freaks me the fuck out. Go ahead, Brett, since you want to jump in.
Oh no, I get really passionate about this kind of subject matter, actually, because like design and concept is something that really just it lights my fire. I think that you can't look at it from a surface point of view. I think you have to look at it from an elemental point of view. Like, let's take, and I'll get on. I'll pull out my praise for Geiger again. Like, Geiger made the Alien in the Aliens movie, and he did so not by saying like, oh, I'm going to make it this, I'm going to make it sleek, I'm going to make it dangerous, or I'm going to make it any of these things. He took elements of like hypersexuality on both the male and female spectrum, and then combined it with elements of death and mummification of insect, and then turned this weird hypersexuality all the way up, and as if that was enough, actually decided that he wanted to incorporate the idea of bondage, the idea of rape, the idea of forced impregnation, and wanted to bind these all into a single horrifying entity. And he spent a lot of time like sculpting and drawing different types of things. Like, he wanted to make the thighs long and sleek, so they alluded to like femininity and sexuality, but he wanted to make the shoulders kind of pointy and angular and reminiscent of like a kind of insects or mummification. He wanted to have the spine visible, so it was mildly disturbing. And then he wanted to have these sleek curves combined with this big, super phallic head kind of thing that, like, it's designed in every way to make you uncomfortable. And I think that the Japanese understand that. The key word here is that, and I fucking hate it because it's such a douchey word, is juxtaposition. It's cramming two different things together in a way that that seems unnatural. It's what makes the Titans in Attack on Titan so weird, so freaky, because they're kind of human. They're innocuous, like they're just like, they're not muscular, they're not threatening. They're just weird, skinny looking, almost people. But then they have weird. Their skin is weird, and their eyes twitch different ways, and they got these creepy smiles. Like, it's that kind of same concept as the little girl singing a nursery rhyme in the middle of a graveyard. Like, that's not supposed to be there. That's not supposed to be that way. And I think the Japanese design philosophy is really, really good at cramming those things together. Whereas I think American design philosophy in a lot of our movies, like whenever we make a monster, it's just hyper-aggression. It's how many predatorial traits can you put in something.
Yeah.
So what I would say makes a monster terrifying is forethought and juxtaposition of elements, as opposed to just putting in, hyper predatorial traits.
Awesome. All right, callers, what about you, man?
Pretty much the same thing you guys are saying, especially what Manny said. Like, something you don't understand is probably the most terrifying, especially when it comes to like villains and stuff, because you don't know how to attack them or how to take them on. So the more unpredictable something gets, the scarier it is to me.
Yeah, something else I want to add. To me, it doesn't have to be like you feel like it's gonna kill you. That's not scary. Like, and again, I'm just talking about me personally right now. If I'm in an ocean with a great white shark, I know where this is gonna go. He's gonna fucking bite me. I'm gonna bleed to death, right? I understand where it's coming from. It wants to eat. That's not scary. Put me in the ocean with a giant fucking whale. I know intellectually it's not going to do anything to me, but just this creepy looking thing with this giant body with these little eyes that I know there's intelligence behind, that creeps me out way more than a fucking shark. I at least understand what's going on with a shark. It's a simple creature. It wants to eat. Whale, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So when you have a creature, it doesn't like it not knowing what it's going to do to you. That's scary. It's like Brett, when you have this hyper predatorial creature, you know what it's going to do. That's not really scary. Whatever, when something's just standing there creeping you the fuck out, that's scarier.
I went
like a little kid, like a little kid in the horror movies.
Dude, it's the difference. Like, if a guy backs you in an alleyway with a big creepy smile and pulls out a knife, like, that's scary. If a guy backs you into a big creepy alleyway and pulls out a rusty spoon, that's fucking scary.
Yes, because like, what are you doing with that spoon? You may live through that, experience, but you may not like what happens afterwards. You know what I mean? Ooh, man.
I'm gonna spoon you.
We had that spoon. Like, what is my man gonna do? I don't think he's not gonna kill me, but I think that's worse. I'd rather have the guy with the knife.
I want to scoop out your eyes.
I'm thinking about something else he's gonna do with that spoon. If you get where my mind is going with this, Oh
Yo,
man.
I went.
See, it's the unknown. Your brain automatically fills in the worst.
I went.
gonna give you some Pepto-Bismol.
With a rusty spoon.
Spoon.
Cool, man. All right, go ahead, Carlos, and then we move on to the next question.
I went kayaking on the ocean like last year, and that shit's just fucking scary, man. Because you don't know what the fuck is right below you. Like,
Yo, I'm gonna share a story. Okay, finish up because I gotta share the scariest experience I ever had in my life. But go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay, I'm again just being honest with you guys. Scariest thing I ever had in my life, right? So back in high school, I fucking I rarely go to the bathroom, in public like that. I had to take a mean shit, right? I go to the bathroom, I'm there doing my thing, right? Somebody comes in, right? This dude just starts yelling Bible verses. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like, is he gonna come in here and rape me? Because I'm like, okay, if you're yelling Bible verses, first of all, that's already scary on a whole other level, but I'm thinking like, okay, I'm really scared. I'm like, I got to the point where because you could kind of see my wheelchair, right? I lifted the shit up just so he wouldn't see it. It's like, nope, this motherfucker's coming in here. And the thing is, though, it's even scarier when he stopped yelling this stuff at the top of his mouth and started talking normal. I don't know why he was talking. So I'm like, okay, I know who that teacher is too. Oh shit. Tony, don't even breathe right now, man. Because you got to understand, religious people to me are already crazy already. So when you have someone just yelling this, I'm like, I don't know what my man's going to do in the name of God. Tony, don't even breathe right now. Scariest fucking shit I went through in my life. Religious people in general just scare the fuck out of me. This on a whole other level, man. I'd rather be in the ocean with a fucking whale than this dude, That's real right now.
Is anyone there?
Jesus said, rah, 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 rah. Oh my!
I can hear you breathing.
This is real right now.
Here.
Luke said to Isaiah, I said, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's crazy, man. He's gonna rape me in the name of God.
This rusty spoon says different.
Oh man, right? All right, this question by him deal. Very long question, but it's kind of funny. Okay. So he goes, Native American Slaughter Day, aka Thanksgiving, is around the corner. He goes, a good friend. Okay, so this is a scenario. A good friend invites you to have dinner with a family friend and you agree to accompany them. You arrive with your friend at the dinner and the host is a bit behind preparing the food. They turn to you and ask you, what's your preference as a side dish? Candied yams, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, or green beans? They gesture to you to help them in the kitchen. You follow them to the kitchen, continuing to think about what side dish you choose. When out of the corner of your eye, you notice a TurboGrafx 16, Sega Master System, Super Nintendo, and Neo Geo hooked up to a 19-inch fat booty TV in the kitchen with every game published alphabetically listed on several shelves. Okay, so what side dish did you choose, and would you ask them if it would be okay to play some games?
The first question, I'll be like, yo, man, why do you have this shit in your kitchen?
Yeah. Yeah. So he goes, do you think you can eat dinner that night, or would you just game? Oh, fuck, Brett didn't hear the whole question, but I'll break it down. So, okay, so basically the two-part question is, what side dish do you choose? Where the fuck are they? Candied yams, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, or green beans? And if you saw this dude's massive gaming collection, would you ask to play some shit?
Are you asking me right now?
Well, I mean, you could wait for our answer.
Macaroni and cheese, first of all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baked or normal?
Let me just read this.
Oh, yeah, read it, because it's a long fucking question, Brad. You went out at the wrong time, man. I'm not trying to read all this shit again. Okay, so for me, let me get my answers here. I don't like candied yams. I don't like macaroni and cheese. I'm Dominican. Green beans, that's not a thing to me. So the mashed potatoes by default, you know.
Yo, man, you don't like them the green
lima beans? The lima beans?
Green beans, like, you know, the long ones, not the lima beans.
Have I ever even had those?
Yeah, like string beans. Is that like string beans?
Those are disgusting.
You don't like string beans? Okay.
Nope. No,
green bean
I know
casserole.
what you're talking about. Those are disgusting. Yeah.
But Tony, you don't like mac and cheese, man?
No, I'm not a little
No,
kid.
my
I'm not a
man,
little
my,
kid.
my man hates macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Don't
I
give me
gotta
that
start-
little kid shit, Tony.
Are you
That
a
is
commie?
little kid shit.
You watch cartoons.
No, I don't. I watch
That's-
anime, motherfucker.
No, there's some. Here's the thing: you got to have the right mac and cheese. If you get baked mac and cheese, now that's some good shit.
Oh yeah, that's the only mac and cheese. Like you,
No, he's
not
Tony.
the Kraft in
Tony,
the box.
Tony's thinking Kraft in a box.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck that
that's
shit.
That's the only shit I've ever had.
Oh
What?
man,
What?
Tony?
Oh man, it's even better. If you've never had
Yeah.
fried macaroni and cheese, that's even better. That's
crazy.
baked macaroni and cheese
Yeah.
they put in the freezer and then cut out bread and
You gotta
fry.
understand when I was a kid, right? It's either mac and cheese or some plátanos. What do you think I'm gonna choose? You
You
know?
live in New York. Like there's like every restaurant you can think of. Like somewhere around there serves fucking baked mac and cheese.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
Brett.
no,
Don't get me wrong. I've
bunch of
seen it in
places,
movies. I'm like, what am I, 5? I'm not eating this shit. You know, so I never even
Nah,
touched
man.
it. You know,
No man, some good macaroni and cheese.
it's like
Yeah.
with peanut butter and jelly. It's like who eats that shit past 10? You know, disgusting.
I do.
Shit,
But
man.
you know the difference is when you're an adult, you toast the bread and butter it before you make it into a peanut butter
Oh,
jelly
yeah.
sandwich.
Peanut
I don't like
butter.
jelly.
Okay,
So.
here's the thing. My thing. I like bread, jelly. I have no problem with peanut butter. I like all together. No, man. Like, no. But, no, it don't work for me, man. So mashed potatoes by default, you know. And as for hell yeah, I'm gonna ask to play games on that shit, especially like an old school TV. Give me that shit. Hell yeah.
Oh, yo,
Yeah, I
man,
don't care if I'm being rude.
you'll probably be playing that instead of helping your boy out.
You know, I'll help him out. I'll play. No, after dinner, you know, after we get full and drunk, let's go play some games, man. You know.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean that's
it's
an after dinner thing. Or
That's
you're
what
like,
I'm
oh, next weekend I'm coming over and we're doing this shit.
Yes.
And then,
Yes,
and then
right.
the other question. Okay, there's 2 questions I would have.
Yes. Go
Number
ahead.
1, I would say, why the fuck do you have this in your kitchen? Why isn't it in like some sort of man cave or like you're in your room or your gaming room or anything? Number 1, why is that in the kitchen? Number 2, why the fuck did you not tell me that you had all this shit in your house?
Yes.
Right?
The best one right there. It's like, why did you tell me about this, motherfucker?
Like,
How did I not know?
how did I not
The
know?
boys.
I've come over many times because obviously this is probably a friend that you've gone to
Yeah.
visited multiple times. It's like, how did I not see this?
Or just, where the fuck did this come from? And they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
I just pulled it out of storage. Like, you never told me you had this.
Oh yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to pull it out, But
that's grounds to
Well-
kill the relationship right there. You know?
Well, you're not eating with a friend's family. You're eating with a friend's family.
Oh, if it's I'll be like, hey, listen, man, we're cool, right? You invite me in your home. Can I play some shit, please?
no, but then I would smack my friend in the face and be
Yeah.
like, how come you didn't tell me this asshole had all this shit? I would have been over here like 2 days ago.
And then you know
Or
what
it's
happens?
Wait,
Yeah.
how come you didn't tell me that this guy, like, how did I not meet this guy before? Like,
Yeah,
how am I
then, you
not
know, and then-
already
yeah.
friends with him? He has all this shit.
Yeah,
So-
no, then he takes your side. He's like, you know why? Because I'm not gonna get into it, but he likes to play with rusty spoons.
Oh.
He's like, no. He has some cool stuff. He's a cool gamer, but he has some deep psychological issues. You do not want to
Yeah,
come
it's
back.
like you can play all you want, just don't go to the basement.
Yeah,
He-
you don't want to be alone with this guy, man. He likes these rusty spoons.
so I would say I would actually want all of the sides. I can't pick one. I'd want
There you
all of
go.
them.
That's a typical Manny answer because
That's me.
Manny is not picky when it comes. I'm picky. He's not.
There's
You know,
certain
he'll
things
eat
I pick.
anything.
If somebody said asparagus, I would have said no.
Yeah.
But all those, well, any one of those, I would have been like anyone. Like if I could get all of them, that would be great. But whatever one you pick, whatever one you think is the one that you want to have aside, I'll eat that too. So it doesn't matter.
So
I would ask if I could play if I could play them.
Yes,
Like his
of
games.
course.
So for me, I have a different answer. I would not give a shit about the games, to be honest. And I'd add 2 questions. So question number 1: are they loaded mashed potatoes? If they're not loaded mashed potatoes, then I'm gonna have to think.
All right, what's loaded mashed potatoes?
Loaded
That
mashed
has
potatoes.
bacon in it.
It has bacon. It has cheese. It has a whole bunch of shit.
Okay,
It's-
interesting.
It's good as hell. So It's either that question, and if they say no, then I'm gonna be like, what kind of mac and cheese is it? Because if it's Kraft mac and cheese, then hell no, I'm not gonna take that. But
Nobody
man,
better be serving Kraft macaroni and cheese at Thanksgiving.
you
No
never
way.
You
you
should all be
never
like,
know,
get the
Brad.
fuck out.
So, if you've ever had green chile mac and cheese, it's freaking amazing, man. It's like the best thing you could ever have. So, like, whichever one they have, I'm taking, man.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, but like the games, I don't really care. Like, I could download those shits right now.
Yes, there you go. But yeah, but this is on a real legit 19-inch tube TV. That's something special right there. You know, not that
Okay.
emulated bullshit. You know,
I see what you're saying.
that's to me. That's the ticket. If it was like, hey, it's on my 1080p TV, I'm like, who cares? You know,
If
Put
shit
on
got
the- yeah.
if shit got pretty awkward with the family, then yeah, might as well.
All right, let's move on here. Fern Gully. All right, this first question is very long, so bear with me. Okay, he was listening to the most recent episode of the Post Game Report. Shout out to the Post Game Report. I've been on there a bunch of times, and I think some people have gotten confused. Please help me to understand because I keep hearing this bullshit. Some are saying the Oculus Rift and Vive are better all-out experiences than the PSVR and telling the public that getting into the experience is, and I quote, only $50 to $100 more than PSVR. They even referred to the PSVR as a quote-unquote half-assed experience. Is it true? Can I go out cold turkey and get a VR-ready PC and Oculus Rift / HTC Vive for $100 more than getting a PS4 with PSVR or even PS4 Pro / PSVR? Do the math, please, because maybe I'm wrong. He goes, the PS4 is $300. PS4 Pro is $400 plus PS4 VR bundle $500, total $850 to $1,000 versus whatever the minimum price is for a PC, and couple that with the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive, $600 and $800 respectively. So just to make a long story short, because this fucking question still keeps going. So is it better to get a PlayStation VR bundle if you're on a budget than the other ones, and do the others actually provide a better VR experience?
The thing,
Well, I'm going to jump in and just state right here. The Vive minimum specs for the GPU, the graphics card alone, generally about $300 to $500 for just the graphics card. I just want to point that out.
Damn. Okay, and I'm glad you said it because the other part of the question was: is there a $400 VR ready PC that will get me the full experience? I don't think so.
No.
Okay, you know what?
No.
Before we answer this question, for general audiences, I'm going to answer this question directly for Mr. Ferngully here. You get yourself the HTC Vive because you have fucking money. You just told me that your wife bought you a $2,000 PC. Dude, you got money. I know what you do for a living too. You got money. Get yourself an HTC Vive. You can afford it.
Yeah, buy us one too, man.
Yeah. and your wife is fine too, by the way. Good looking on that one. He also bought a VR himself. He said he played at Best Buy. He was skeptical about VR in general, but he bought it, because of his appearance. He thought it was cool. But
You don't gloss over that shit. That's I will be happy to read that word for it.
Okay, I'll read it. I'll read it just for you, Brett. Okay.
Thank you.
I just bought a PlayStation 4 VR bundle after trying it out at Best Buy. Being a graphics whore who listened to some of the internet hate, I went in with many doubts and a negative attitude towards the device. Once I tried it, I copped that bitch immediately. I felt bad for prejudging it because I feel it's something that is really good for gaming in general. So that's what he feels about it. Yeah. So you have this already. And again, you have money. Get one of the other ones too. You'll be happy. You'll have them all. Because here's what I'm going to say. The HTC Vive and Oculus may be better. And Brett, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they have as many games as PSVR. PSVR seems to have way more games.
Actually, I've been told by multiple people that currently PSVR brings the best experience to the table. Now, I'm not sure. I know that the specs on some of the other headsets are better. But Sony, I'm not sure what kind of black magic Sony worked, but apparently it's just generally a better experience with PlayStation VR. from what I've been told. Now, if you get everything set up correctly and you get a good game and you get everything, you can probably, and your graphics score, you can probably get a better experience out of the Vive in the long run. But I'm imagining when they say a better experience, it's about like the PlayStation VR headset's easy to put on, it's easy to take off, has a little slide thing, so you're constantly not like strapped in. It's apparently more comfortable. It feels like it's made out of better materials. It's a seamless experience in the sense that you don't have to install something, you don't have to deal with drivers, you don't have to deal with software shit or anything, bugging out on you for the most part. It's a plug and play experience. So depending on what you're looking for, yeah, but I kind of disagree with Tony. Like, you don't necessarily have to go out and get a Vive if you don't want to deal with all the shit that goes with a lot of the PC gaming. But if you have a $2,000 PC gaming rig and you're a graphics whore, I assume that you know about this kind of stuff, and you can at least deal with installing games down to if you have to install special drivers or plugins.
He knows how to handle that shit.
Yeah, I assume you know how to handle that shit. So
remember, I was basing my answer to him specifically.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, to everybody else, PSVR. I'm not trying to shill for them. I played it myself, even though I had some problems with it. It was overall a pretty good experience if you're really into VR, and it is the least expensive. And like Brett just said, most people are saying it's the best overall experience. So I say go with that. You're gonna be spending $850 tops if you buy the bundle. With the PS4 Pro and all. Actually, with the PS4 Pro, yeah, $400. 800, a little close to $1,000, but that's still less than what you would be paying for HTC Vive, which is $800 alone, plus the fucking PC that's capable of running that shit. So yeah, if you're normal gamers, get the PSVR bundle. If you don't have a PlayStation 4 already, and for you rich motherfuckers, go get that HTC Vive.
Yeah,
Jagon, he could buy 3 of them. For like, I'll stop right now. I was going to say some shit.
Well, okay, yeah. Again, to put it into
context.
There you go. The minimum requirements. And this is for the headset, not even on some of the games. Is look it up right now. Looking bottom end about 175, top end for the minimum requirement about 275. So let's say about $200, and then you're looking about $350 for the video card. So you're looking at, between the processor and the video card, you're already looking at $550. Then you're going to need a case. That's probably going to run you another $100 easy. You need your power supply, and these are high power units, so you're probably going to want like a 600 watt power supply, which is going to cost you another $100 if you want to get something good. Then you need 4 gigs of RAM, minimal, which you're going to want something more like 16 to be able to run the games that you're at. So that's probably going to run you between another 150, $200. So what are you up to? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, about $1,000 to build the PC that you need, minimal.
For the PC, right, Brett? Just for the PC.
Yeah, just for the PC. I'm just talking about the PC to run the minimum required specs stated by the manufacturer.
Yeah, and then you couple the cost of the HTC Vive, you're getting closer to the $2,000 range.
Yeah, and you don't want to be running, like, if you're running VR, you don't want to be running minimum specs.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that people want to keep in mind. Like, you don't want to, hamstring yourself in that instance. So yeah, you're generally going to need $1,200 to $1,500 PC. $2,000 PC, absolutely not overkill, because you're just going to be able to turn that shit up and get really good frame rates on some of the VR stuff. Have fun calibrating that and dealing with drivers and all, because it's just a wild fucking frontier out there that there's going to be a fair amount of setup involved. But if you don't mind that and you love graphics, you can and you have a shit ton of money, you can go the PC route. But for the most part, it's generally going to cost you 2 to 3 times as much.
So this is what I would say. Are you like, well, this is to the question, the guy doing the question. Are you hard pressed to get VR? Because if not, my answer would be get none. Wait. Wait till it gets better. Because both of, let's be honest, PSVR with a PS4 is expensive as hell. It's like $1,000.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I think while I enjoyed the experience of PSVR, it's nothing revolutionary. It's like playing in the arcades when you were a kid, like playing in the arcades, and it's fun, and I like that having in my room. But at the end of the day, I don't think if this is as good as VR is gonna get, then it's gonna go nowhere, man. So what I would do is I would wait for the next iteration of PSVR because that's probably going to be cheaper than whatever HTC or Oculus is going to come out with, and hopefully that works better with a PS4 Pro or PS5, whatever is out at that time.
Yeah. But to answer the question directly, even though I do like the post game report, I think these guys are being a little bit misleading. It's not just, hey, you pay an extra $100 and you get an HTC Vive. No. There's way more costs that go into that shit.
If
just broke down, you know.
Yeah, if your starting off point is having a PC that can run it and a PlayStation 4 that can run it, or well, I mean just a PlayStation 4, but then that's the extra cost it'll be. But if you have none of that, then you have to put into account that a PC is going to cost you way more than a PS4 is.
Yeah, a PC that's capable of running the shit correctly, you know, not minimum. Yeah. You don't want to do a minimum, you know.
Even then, it's not like it's not comparing apples to apples. Like okay, so let's look at this. You're comparing the entire launch bundle with, like, say, the launch bundle that comes with the Touch or the Oculus Rift. The Oculus Rift doesn't come with controllers, doesn't come with any games. So if we're talking like the base headset that doesn't come with controllers, it doesn't come with games, that was $400 versus the price tag of $600 or $800. Now, I'm not a real whiz at math, but I'm pretty sure $200 and $400, neither one of those is $50 to $100.
Exactly. So yeah, these guys, again, I'm just being real. These guys are kind of tripping right now if they're saying that shit, you know? Oh man. All right, I'm gonna move on. Get my question. You just have to pull up the fucking questions here. And we have 3 viewers now, but it's probably still going to be jacked up. All right, next question from Mr. Fernbelly. Okay, people are saying that the PS4 Pro upscaling and graphics power are equal to the Xbox S, Xbox One S. Okay, in every way except the S adds a 4K Blu-ray player for $100 less, which ultimately means the PS4 Pro is, and I quote, dead on arrival and quote unquote useless. This is what the fanboys say. Please educate the public on whether this shit is true or not. Okay, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. The Xbox One S does basic upscaling. It doesn't do the checkerboard shit that PlayStation Pro does, you know? So already there, that's a facetious kind of statement. Yes, it does have a fucking Blu-ray player on it, but the actual rendering and shit, you know, it's a different technique. It's not just basic. And again, dead on arrival, useless. That's fanboy rhetoric, man.
Also, yeah, I'm pretty sure the graphical power, like the Xbox One S is
the Xbox One S is a regular. It's a regular fucking Xbox. There's no difference in it.
You guys remember that the regular PlayStation 4 was significantly more powerful than the Xbox One, right? So the Xbox One S was meant to close the disparity between the base Xbox system and the base PlayStation 4 system. It's not going to close the gap with the PlayStation Pro. The Xbox One S may come in more powerful than the base PlayStation 4
and
system.
It doesn't, by the way. It doesn't.
It doesn't, but it could. Yeah. Like, in some magical world, it could. But even in that magical fucking world, it would not be better than Sony's premium unit. So, like, yeah. And I wonder if the people who ask this question, like, do you understand how specs work? Because if not, like, take 10 minutes to Google it, and you can pretty much figure it out. It's not Latin. It's not a foreign language. I know it's big and scary. Building a PC isn't tough. If you can build a Lego castle, you can build a PC. It's not fucking programming and software. That's a whole nother ballgame, man. But building a PC and knowing, like, oh, this video card does basically this, and this video card does basically this. That's not hard. Understanding the intricacies of how, you know, multiple processing cores work together. Yeah, that gets a little complicated. Then we talk to the text. But for basic comparing, like, chipset A to chipset B, any retard can do it. So like this question, like when people say that it's going to be dead on arrival or useless, it's obviously trolly or super uneducated or both.
Yes. Anything else? I think we pretty much covered this. Actually, no, it's not. It's not. The Xbox One S is not even comparable at all to the PS4 Pro. It is ridiculous. But again, these guys say this shit for their stupid little console war. You know.
Now, Tony, we want to appease the Xbox people and say, remind them that Microsoft's premium system does look to be more powerful in the end than Sony's premium system. So, like, I don't understand, like. If you want to fight that fight, if you want to die on that hill, you won. You're getting the more powerful overall system. Xbox has the most powerful home gaming system when all the dust is going to settle.
Yeah,
from the way things are going to look. Yeah, from the look of the playing field right now, that's how it's going to be. So like I don't understand why like it's still picking little fights all the way down. Like you were winning and you were picking fights, and then you were losing and you were picking fights, and now it looks like you might be winning again and you're picking fights. Like Jesus fucking Christ! Do you just hate people who buy Sony? Like I don't understand.
Yes, that's what it is. We have a related question. War never changes, as Metal Gear says. War never changes.
No, Metal Gear never said that.
Fallout says.
Fallout said that.
What was Metal Gear's line?
We should have left that. We should have left that in the comments section that people go crazy over.
Manny, what was the
for Metal Gear? It says a war has changed. For Fallout, war will never change.
Be like Fallout says, you know.
It's Captain to infinity and beyond.
Yeah, ridiculous. All right, last question for Mr. Ferngully. For multiple console owners, is having all the systems worth it, or do you feel that you could have done without one or two?
Ooh,
I like
here we
this
go.
question.
You're okay. So Tony, being the person, being now you are one of those many few that have all the consoles with exception of the Wii U.
Well, you know, you said all the consoles that matter, right? Okay, if you would have asked me this exactly 1 year ago, right, I would have said, yes, this is cool. I like having the PlayStation and the Xbox, right? Now I'm like, I don't even know why I'm just being real, right? I don't know why I have this Xbox anymore. It is fucking useless. Now that I have a beast PC where I can play all those Xbox games on, kind of don't need the Xbox anymore. I'm really considering selling it. The only reason I'm keeping it, I'm going to be honest, it's just so when motherfuckers want to come at me like, I got an Xbox too, shut the fuck up. You know?
But does that mean anything if you regret having it?
I don't regret having it. It's just, it doesn't do anything. Xbox was useful up until they announced the whole Play Anywhere thing. It's like, what the fuck do I need this shit for? You know, like seriously. But definitely having as many consoles as you can is good. And guess what? I'm going to buy. I hope Chris doesn't kill me for this. I will buy the Switch just so I could have everything. You know, I don't want to be.
I don't think Chris is going to shoot you down for that. I mean, you buy what you want. He's not going to be like, you fucking idiot.
But even then, if I buy the Switch, it's like, I don't need the Xbox, man.
Number one, I would say, this is my advice to you. Wait on the Switch. Do not buy that shit on day one.
Yeah, unless my editor wants me to do some shit on the Switch, and that's a different story.
Yo, man, your editor needs to start paying you some fucking money if you're going to start going buying consoles.
Hey, Geek.com pays me very, very well. I'm not complaining. That's why I could afford a Switch like nothing, and a badass PC. But yes, get as many systems as you possibly can. But as always, if you can only afford one system, please do not go shit on the other system just because you can't fucking afford it. Play your shit, be happy. Don't be a fanboy.
And then they'll hear you. You're a fanboy. Don't buy Xbox. That's what there's going to be cut down to.
You're going to hear from this is I'm going to sell my Xbox. It's useless. That's the only thing you're going to hear. That last bit when I said just enjoy your system, they're not going to hear that because it doesn't cater to their narrative. Manny, answer go.
Having all consoles, as me having them.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have all the consoles, but at the same time, the Play Anywhere sort of deal kind of does negate the owning a Xbox a little.
Yes.
I mean, now I kind of
to be fair, it does have a lot of Xbox 360 games on it that I've never played. That's a good reason to play it. But
yeah,
I played the Gears of War games. I mean, I know motherfuckers are gonna go, Tony, what about Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey? You think I'm gonna try play an 80-hour JRPG now? You know, I don't have time for that.
Maybe if we're talking to old Tony, yes.
Yeah, for sure I would have done that, you know. And I do want to play those games. It's just I know for a fact I don't have time. What Xbox should do is make those Xbox 360 games available on PC too. Then
will you even play them on PC? I don't think so either. It wouldn't make a difference.
That's also true, you know. But it would be nice. Then I could just sell my Xbox for real.
Well,
you know?
I mean, at least for me, I mean, I don't own an Xbox One, but now I kind of do own an Xbox One since the
you do.
ecosystem.
Oh, man, that graphics card you got is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I can run a lot of those games. So, I mean, I still, the problem still lies in the fact that I don't like sitting in front of my computer to play games. In general, because I don't want to see this thing when I want to play games. If anything, I want to be in my living room. So I probably would get an Xbox One eventually, but there has to be enough for me to buy one. And that's the whole thing. I'm very frugal about what I buy, and there has to be enough reasons for me to get something.
Yeah. All right, Carlos, get in here. I know you're a multi-console owner.
Yeah. No, I don't regret it. Because I have the Wii U as well. And when I bought, nah, man, it's actually here's the crazy thing.
Here's the thing, you know, again, just being honest, I don't have a problem with Nintendo games. I have a problem with the fucking company. That's my problem, you know.
Yeah,
the games are fine. I have no problem with the games.
The Wii U's hardware is shit. The controller is shit.
Yes.
The infrastructure is shit. The online system is shit. Its first-party games are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only thing they have going for them. And so I don't regret it, man, because I played a lot of good games actually for the Wii U. And for Xbox One, well, I bought it the day it came out, so Play Anywhere wasn't available back then. So that's why I don't regret buying the Xbox. But yeah, does Play Anywhere make it a little bit more, you know, what's the correct term? Like
obsolete,
yeah. And yeah, it does, because if you have a PC, then your games are going to play theoretically better on the PC than on your console. But no, I don't regret it. There's one thing that I might have regretted buying.
VR, the VR.
Yes, man.
Oh man,
but
Brett,
that's not a console, so yeah,
that's true. It's a peripheral. Brett, what's your take on this, man?
That's weird. I actually really enjoy my VR, although I don't use it but a couple times a week. But that's kind of what I expected. I'm sorry to sidetrack. Did you expect to use yours more than that, or do you use yours less than that, Carlos?
I use it because I want to remind myself that I bought it.
Oh shit!
It's like because I played. I think we talked about this too. Like I played that Super Hyper Cube game and the rigs as well, and I bought both of those. I bought both of those games, and man, they were way more costly than what they should have been.
Oh,
I do agree with that. I don't think there's that many great games out for it right now.
And I haven't tried Batman VR, so that's one of them.
Don't.
Bad.
Oh,
yeah. Nah, son.
So, yeah, like I'm like, I should try VR because I have it, and not a lot of people get to try it, like have VR in their own home. So I need to like appreciate it at least. But I'm waiting for that killer IP to come out. Let's say that.
All right.
The thing that is going to tell you need a PSVR for this.
Yeah, I haven't had that yet. One last thing. This is not a question. It's just another little thing he wrote in there. You know, Ferngully, he likes to tell us little stories, right? He goes, in addition, I fell extremely hard for the Destiny bug. It's like crack or something, man. One thing about it is I refrain from buying other titles, adding to my backlog and feeling guilty for paying $60 day one for games I was only playing once. hoping to get back to. I just couldn't find a fucking way off this motherfucking Destiny. They need a rehab center in this bitch. PSVR is helping though. Hey, I had that Destiny crack too, man, but thankfully Shadow Mordor kicked me out of it. You know,
yo, man, I saw for that shit for what it was when that demo came out.
Hey, I enjoyed Destiny for what it was, but that's not a big, because I still, dude, what's it, 3 years later, 2 years later, motherfuckers are still playing it every single day.
Like, we've never had an issue with the game itself. Well, we had issues, but like, it was an okay game, but we just don't understand why the hell it's so big.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It's reached the level of comfort food right now.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. By the way, okay, I'm going to sidetrack right now. Because I want to show everybody something. I bought one of those fancy Xbox make it yourself controllers. So it's blue. You see it, right? I don't know if you can see this. It has Ron.
Nah, it's difficult to see because you chose like a navy on that.
Huh? See it now?
Yeah, I see Ramida.
Yeah.
Okay, you see. Okay, there you go. It basically, because like people are like, hey, it looks like normal because I still like the blackness of all this shit, so I kept all this black and I made the back gray just to distinguish it. Right. It looks like a regular controller, but it actually isn't. Like it has more grippy things here, right? Like you could actually hear it. It's not smooth. And these got a little upgraded as well, right? Cost me like $100 or something. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, man, you did it off the website. Like when we did it at E3, we had those.
Yeah, when I showed this to people, we're like, Tony, why didn't you make it like a different color? It looks like a regular one because it is dark. I'm like, because blue's my favorite color. I'm not gonna make it pink. Fuck that shit. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Are you using that to play your PC games?
Hell yeah, son.
Nice.
I even bought the fucking it's coming in on Tuesday, the Bluetooth adapter, because it's funny, I have this giant super PC, right? Doesn't have Bluetooth in it. I forgot to tell him to put that in. I didn't even think about it, so I need one of those like Bluetooth adapters.
Yo, man, that's because you didn't put that as the Torrance's thing, because remember he had generally designed your machine.
Yeah. By the way, I'm at the point, even though I have a pretty good CPU, I have an i7-47K, right? I kind of want the 67 one now. I got the bug, man. Manny, so if I get it, you're going to get a new CPU.
Yeah, that's it. Well, no, I mean, for me, I'd have to upgrade my power supply.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not only that, your motherboard.
Yeah, my motherboard would have to be redone too because
my motherboard and everything should hang. But I'm considering.
Yeah, if you're doing the motherboard, you may as well do a new processor because you got to unseat the motherfucker anyway. So for me, I mean, if I were to do that, I would have to get a whole pretty much a new computer with the exception of the graphics card. So I'll stick with my i5 for now.
There you go.
But for me, the only reason why I didn't get that Xbox controller is they didn't offer colored things like what do they call it, like camouflage.
Likes his camouflage.
Hey, I like my camouflage.
Hey, nothing wrong with that,
I wish I could take off some of the pieces of this and replace them with the ones that they have for that one.
Yeah, they're really good, man. Especially that back, it's really grippy now. It's not like just plastic and stuff like before.
I wish you can. The only problem I have with the Xbox is the analog sticks feel too loose now, to me.
Really?
At least for the older one, for the normal version.
A little bit more response to it,
I don't know. Like I'm playing, I'm using it to play some games on PC, here or there, and I just don't like the how loose they feel on there.
Yeah, pretty cool. I'm happy with this controller. Yeah. It's just funny because everybody always calls me a Sony pony, except for PSVR. I haven't played PlayStation in like 2 months. I've been playing Xbox games on my PC, and using an Xbox controller. I'm a fucking gamer first. All right. Next question is from
soon. Soon you're gonna retire that thing, though.
The what?
Especially when Steam gets the PlayStation 4 support.
Oh yeah, that's true. We'll see. I really like this controller. All right. The Nels Coney asks, and as usual, comic book questions. Okay. Okay. Favorite comic book artist and writer. We can only pick one of each. This is a tough one.
Sure. Do you want? What was it? What was it again?
Who is your favorite comic book artist and writer?
Oh,
and you can't pick a million dudes. It's got to be either one each or one person that does both.
Gabriel Rodriguez and Brian Posehn's Deadpool.
But Brian Posehn's Deadpool is like Well, that's a run.
No, I like his writing for Deadpool.
Okay.
I like Brian Posehn
Okay.
specifically for his Deadpool writing, and my favorite comic artist is Gabriel Rodriguez.
Isn't he Posehn a comedian?
Yeah, he is.
That's why he writes such great Deadpool.
Oh, okay, sure. All right. For me, let's see. Favorite artist would probably be Sean Gordon Murphy. He did Hellblazer. He did a bunch of Batman stuff. He's all over the place. He's a really good artist. And I'd have to say writer J. Michael Straczynski on that first run of Spider-Man books.
Oh, nice.
With Morlun and all that stuff. When it was, more like each story was self-contained, but they were one part of a larger story. I liked that, the way he did that one. The later stuff I wasn't too, happy with, but
when Stacy's having kids from Norman Osborn and all that.
Yeah,
nonsense.
that weird stuff.
It's funny you bring that up because the artist on that, John Romita Jr., who is the only artist I buy his book specifically because he's on it. I don't care what the story's about, I will buy it. So because of that, John Romita Jr., my favorite artist. Favorite writer, this is where it gets a little weird, because even some of my favorite guys, they kind of fall off after a while, so it's hard for me to go, okay, which guy has been consistent for like 30 or 40 years, shit.
Kirkman.
Huh?
Kirkman.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, Manny, this is why you're the man. Robert Kirkman, because he writes my favorite comic book, Invincible. He also writes The Walking Dead, too. But yeah, Invincible, top-notch, great fucking... Man, I would have picked Ryan Otley, too, as artist. He's fantastic. I'm going to go Robert Kirkman, but not because of The Walking Dead. I love his Walking Dead stuff. Invincible is the greatest shit ever. He even says it, the greatest comic book in the universe.
I have a question for you, Tony.
Yeah.
A little bit sidetracked, but has Invincible been adapted yet?
No.
Because I've heard so many people saying that that's their favorite comic book series.
For good reason. It's fucking great. It takes everything you love about superhero comics and turns it on their head. Like when you think it's about to go one way, it goes in a completely different other. It's great, but it's still a big love letter to superhero comics, And just like old comics, Kirkman, he'll like in issue 39, he'll have some throwaway fucking line that'll become a giant arc 20 issues later, I love shit like that. They don't do that in comics anymore. Everything's just contained to 6-issue like mini arcs, They don't have giant continuity anymore like they used to.
Oda does that in One Piece, man.
Yeah, that's good shit. They don't do that in comics. They used to do it all the time. Chris Claremont, another one of my favorite writers, he used to do that shit all the time, All right, moving on here. Carlos, I skipped you because I know you don't read American comics. Yeah. I think you're going to just be on the sidelines for this entire section here. So grab a beer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. So here's a fun one. Which one is worse and why? Spider-Man One More Day or Marvel's Ultimatum? And the second part is, were these stories editorial mandates? I'm going to answer the second part. Spider-Man One More Day was definitely fucking mandated. So for you guys who don't know, One More Day is basically they wanted, because Spider-Man had been married to Mary Jane for a bunch of years, right? And they were like, how do we get these two unhitched? Instead of going the simple way, getting them divorced, like, I know, let's have Mephisto rewrite history. Everybody hated that shit, basically Aunt May was dying. He made a deal with Mephisto. He's like, oh, keep her alive, but everything that you've experienced for the last 5 years, in continuity is being erased. So fucking forced. And because of that, I am picking it over that is worse than Ultimatum. Ultimatum, again, for you guys who don't know, is when the Ultimate Universe had their big, big shakeup event where Magneto decided, fuck it, I'm done with humanity. He inversed the polarities of, Earth's polarities and caused like the deaths of millions and millions of people because of floods and shit. Big battles ensued and like half the heroes ended up dying. Universe completely changed after that. But to me, I personally consider that the end of the Ultimate Universe for me. That's why I stopped reading it. I found it to be a satisfying end. I was happy with Ultimatum. I know people hate Ultimatum. I don't get why they hate it. Maybe because Wolverine died. A bunch of people died, but it's not as offensive as fucking that Spider-Man shit was. That was almost more offensive than the Clone Saga, Ooh, man.
I would pick the Clone Saga as being way more offensive.
Yeah, but we're going for these two,
I've never read either one of them, so I can't comment on them.
Okay, fair enough.
Let me just say something real quick. The Earth's polarity shifts pretty constantly. So like if magnetos shift the polarity of the Earth, like theoretically it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He did it violently in a comic book violent way. I don't know, but yeah, whatever he did, he cost millions. I'm like, yo, why doesn't Magneto do some crazy shit like that normally? But he can't because regular. Yeah, go ahead, Manny.
He doesn't do that stuff because in the regular Marvel universe, they still need to make comics.
Yeah, that is true.
That's the reason why the Ultimate Universe was so great, is because you could get away with doing shit like killing fucking Spider-Man and then he stays dead.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I remember like the first like arc of the Ultimate X-Men, right? What does Magneto do? This motherfucker goes to the White House, pretty much kills everybody there, and has George Bush strip naked and lick his boots in front of national TV. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. But you're right. That's why people like the Ultimate Comics, you know?
Because it was almost like a what if universe with no real consequences. It's like any drastic changes that they do in the Ultimate Universe, you still have your original normal universe where Spider-Man is still Peter Parker and Captain America's is fine, and Reed Richards is not some fucked up crazy kid. know.
But then the problem became when the regular Marvel universe started being like the Ultimate Universe.
Yes, and that was, to me, I think that is the biggest issue. Like, I mean, it's great to have Miles Morales and all that stuff, but I feel like having him in the normal Marvel universe hurts things a lot, because at the same time, not only you have Spider-Man, you have normal Peter Parker Spider-Man, who's some rich guy. Then you have a fucking Spider-Man 2099 who's also flipping out around all over the place too. So I'm like, what? Why now? He's not special anymore. He's just 1 in 20 Spider-Man that's hanging out in this book.
Yeah, not to mention the Spider Women that are around now too.
I think the only one that's still in her alternate universe is the Spider-Gwen.
No, she's crossed over.
Oh, great. Well, whatever.
She hangs out with Spider Woman, Jessica Drew. They hang out all the time. They're always crossing each other's universes.
Oh, okay.
So she's not segregated in that way. All right. Last question here. Why do Manny? You're gonna love this question. We've talked about this before many times. Why do Marvel and DC keep rebooting their series? Basically, like, there have been 4 Daredevil #1s, 3 Batman #1s. This is simple because people buy #1 issues. That's why.
Yeah, #1 issues. The #1 issues sell the most, which is really sad.
Yes, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of comic book history. Right back when Marvel first started, right. The thing was, if you see a comic book that had a #1, you might be like, I don't know about this. But if a comic book had a really high number, you would be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to pick this up because it has a really high number. It means it's been around. That's why when Thor started, it was Thor 150 something, because they basically comped the continuity or the number issues of Tales of Suspense and kept it going, just because they knew if a comic book had a really high number, people would buy it. In the 80s, late 80s, it shifted. People saw #1, they would tend to buy it. And obviously in the 90s, #1, it went crazy. But it still kept going. If you see a #1, people will, sales for a #1 will be higher than a sales for a number 56. That's why they do shit like that. And it's really fucking stupid. I'm like, just keep the number going, man. But they're not going to do that.
And Marvel in general, whenever new story arcs start over again, they actually start back at #1 again.
Yeah, they do that,
So
like now they have Marvel now. Again, they just go back to #1 again. A year later, they go back to #1 again because they know that #1's going to sell more.
Yeah, so that's how they're going to get everybody involved. And the other thing is, what happens is Marvel, now you got to realize, maybe every 5 years you get a whole new batch of people buying comics. So that's also why they do universe reboots pretty regularly, because all the people that already been collecting the books are already a little bit older now. So now you have a whole new generation of guys who've never read these things before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's business.
Right. That's what it is, man. All right, the last 2 questions from Daniel Smile. All right, what do you make of what Mike Ibarra? Hey, Brett came back in perfect time. All right, what do you guys make of what Mike Ibarra and Vince Zampella had to deal with on Twitter today? All right, so let me break down what happened. So Mike Ibarra, Xbox guy, right? He tweets out, "Hey, Titanfall's great." He posted a couple of shots. Come join me in the game. Then a bunch of crazy Xbox guys jump in, going, "Why are you not marketing the game? Why are you letting Sony market the game? Why are you tweeting out pictures of Sony discs?" The Xbox guys are going at the Xbox executives, and there's like, guys, just play your game. Like, it doesn't matter where you play the game. The game is fantastic. Play it. Vince Zampella, who works for Respawn, same deal. And they were going at him. "Oh, you guys betrayed Xbox. How dare you be on PS4 now? Give them the marketing deals." Like, no, we have a marketing deal with Microsoft. If you do, then why are you letting Sony advertise? Dumb shit. Vince Zampella even said, "You know what? Don't buy your fucking game then." It's like. And the guy who was really going at it was this one dude, probably the first person I ever blocked on Twitter, Mike Mayoral, right? Super Xbot, excuse me. Crazy motherfucker, It's insane, man. Like, you guys don't want to take a break on a Sunday. This is Sunday, and you motherfuckers are going at it. It's nuts. It's fucking sad. It's pathetic,
What do I think about it? It's just a sign of the way the culture, the kind of venomous culture that's starting to manifest themselves inside the Xbot community.
Yes, Xbot, because Xbox regular fans, they don't care about this shit. They're just playing their games. As a matter of fact, one guy who's an Xbox fan hit me up and he's like, "Listen, those motherfuckers, crap gamer, they don't represent me. I just play my games." They're making all the regular Xbox guys look bad.
That's the biggest problem, because you have these loud, nutty people who are essentially taking over taking over the narrative when they don't represent the majority of the people that are actually playing. A lot of people don't give a shit about what's going on online. They're just happy to be playing their games.
Yeah, you're 100% right. But they have to deal with this nonsense. It's fucking stupid. Carlos, get in here, man. What do you say?
It's like a recycled thing over and over again, man. It's like, how low can these freaking Xbox get, man? Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, who cares? The games,
they care.
There's a reason why freaking Titanfall 2 is coming out for multiplat. It's because it didn't do well on freaking Xbox One.
Yeah, why? To be fair, it did better than some other new IPs, but yeah, why didn't you guys fucking buy it in droves? If it was the greatest game ever, And I know some motherfuckers are gonna come in here going, "It actually sold." I heard somebody say it sold 10 million. It didn't sell 10 million. Get out of here. There's 20 million Xbox. You're gonna tell me half the users bought it? Get out of here. Fucking stupid. Dummery.
I feel like it sucks, because these are not, now they're actually yelling at the guys that are the good people at Microsoft that are really trying to do things about it.
Remember we were yelling at Phil Spencer because of the Quantum Break thing?
At Phil Spencer, yelling at this other guy. I'm like, come on, dudes. Support your fucking games.
Yeah, how about that?
How do you change okay, if you want to turn the tide, if you want to switch these sorts of things, you have to buy the games on the console that the console that you're supporting. That's the way it works. So if every single person on Xbox decided to buy Titanfall, then that would mean that would have also changed the narrative around it. It would have been like, okay, that would have been like Titanfall 1. If they all bought it on Titanfall 1, right, on Xbox, right, that meant that Titanfall would have stayed on Xbox as exclusive, because they would have been able, who's producing that game?
Respawn.
Oh, Respawn.
Not Respawn. The
EA.
Publisher.
EA would have said, "Oh shit, then we'll keep it on the Xbox since we're making so much goddamn money off of this thing."
Yeah, but remember what happened with the first game? It was supposed to be out on PS4, but Microsoft came in at the last minute and bought it up. They were ready to do it on PS4.
So there you go. But the thing is, again, now probably if it did it amazingly on Xbox, I'm sure EA would have said, "Oh well, then keep it there. Keep it there. We don't, we don't need to worry about the other ones if it's making that much money." But it won't. It's not. So why does this sort of stuff happen? But I mean, the thing is that support your fucking console. If you've made the decision to be a one-on-one Xbox player, then buy these games. Keep them on your console.
And when you say support your console, we don't mean get on Twitter to support your console.
That doesn't
shit.
That does not support your console. Yelling at people in all different directions doesn't help a damn thing. Going at how anything is decided is with your wallet.
Yeah, and like so Microsoft made the strategic move to purchase the rights to release this game on their console exclusively. So if Titanfall 1 sold as, because I checked the sales and it did pretty good actually, but if Microsoft felt like Titanfall sold as many systems as they deemed like profitable to however much they paid to get that that exclusive rights, then they would have done it for Titanfall 2.
Yeah,
which they obviously didn't. So now there's Titanfall 2 is coming out. And not many people know that Titanfall 2 is coming out for PlayStation 4. So what are they going to do? They're going to advertise it a lot for PlayStation 4 because the people who thought that it was just an Xbox exclusive are now finding out, oh, it's coming out for my console as well, so I'm going to go buy it.
Yeah. I don't see what's wrong with people, having the game, like everybody having the game, But again, they want to hoard it for themselves, like little fucking petulant children, man. Fucking pathetic. All right, and the last question related to this: has Titanfall 2 been gimped for the PlayStation crowd? Because this is the theory. They're saying that the game was made easier because PlayStation players aren't as good as Xbox players. They're not as skilled. How fucking elitist can you get? That's fucking stupid, And here's the funny thing is they're saying that the game is easier, is gimped or whatever. Let's say if this game was exclusive, but it's the exact same game, no difference. They wouldn't say that shit.
That's not even like the question. Like the question is it a better game? If it is, and if it's gimped, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean?
The only people that are complaining, they're saying that the game is easier, are those guys that are pissed off that it's not exclusive. Everybody else is saying it's a better game overall than the first game.
Yeah, well, you know what? Titanfall 1 was gimped, man, because it was up for Xbox One.
How's that? Oh, you mean like gimped gameplay wise?
Yeah, because obviously PC has way superior
there you
gameplay.
Go. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh man, it's so stupid. Brett and I had a pretty big conversation about this a couple of weeks ago. It's like, you guys sound like these PC assholes. You guys aren't skilled like we are. We're Xbox players. You Sony guys fucking suck. You don't know how to play games. I had to gimp the game for you guys.
Man, at least PC has some merit. It's still asshole-ish and elitist, but at least there's some tinge of truth in that.
Yes. They're both fucking controllers. They control the same. Idiots. But yeah, but again, in their eyes, PlayStation guys aren't as skilled as Xbox guys. PlayStation guys aren't as skilled as Xbox guys. Where does that even come from? I never heard a PlayStation guy say that shit.
Well, how would they even know?
That's what I'm saying. What barometer do you base it on? I don't get it. But this is part of the narrative now. Oh, they had to dumb it down because PlayStation owners aren't as skilled.
Like the only thing
what is that?
Yeah, like the only thing I could think of is like competitive tournaments, but they don't have Titanfall 2 in those competitive tournaments.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like you said, if you would have had the PC guys, they destroy both console guys. So what are they talking about? Fucking idiots, man. I swear, I'm getting to the point where I think I'm going to just block anybody that has that purple M in their fucking name. It is like,
what if they're a Scorpio, an actual Scorpio?
Oh well, too bad. You should have let those other idiots hijack that fucking symbol. Because it seems like 99% of these guys with that little symbol are fucking idiots, man. Ugh. Whatever. All right. That's pretty much gonna do it for the show. I'm gonna, end it right here anyway because the stupid technical difficulties we're having tonight. Thank you, Google, for that. We really appreciate it. Not, I know, man. It's fucking dumb. Okay, so yeah, no real outro shit. For the next Throwdown, Manny may be the one starting it because I'm gonna go see Doctor Strange. By the way, this is a little funny story about that. So one of our fans, Jose Polanco, out of all people, he's like, "Hey, you want to go see Doctor Strange?" So I'm like, "Sure." He got the tickets. He's like, "Okay, here's the date." I'm like, "My man, that's Thursday. I'm like, like main point. I'm like, doesn't he listen to Throwdown? That's Thursday night, you know?
When does he think we record this?
Because I was under the impression he was gonna get some Friday night shit, you know. So what I'm gonna do is as soon as the movie's over, which should be around 9, getting the fuck back home, you know. But the show still has to go on, so Manny will start up, and I'll just jump in when I get home, you know. Hopefully the E Train will be cooperative that night.
Hopefully the E Train and Google will be cooperative that night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. So stupid, you know. All right, so let's wrap this up. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section on the Coalition. You're on YouTube, so we can answer them on next week.